Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a Vigor podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Anton, and the other host is DJ Spencer.
Hello.
Hello. It's episode 71, and today we're going to be having another partner on with us, because we also have DJ Spencer, Vigor
Well,
partner.
bigger partner.
But yeah, we're going to do another partner interview. It's been a little while since we've done one, so it's going to be nice to get into that. Before we get too far, though, let's please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We appreciate it, and leave us any comments below. Um, in this case, any comments could be if you have any questions for our guest. We'll be sure to get them to check out the chat afterwards, or the comments afterwards, to answer anything. But without further ado, let's go. It's Elite Reclaims. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Yay. Good to be
Hey.
here. Good to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, well, welcome to the podcast. It's really great. You were you like a campaign partner? I can't remember.
I was
No,
part of the second wave of partners. There
second
was the
wave.
first original ones, and then I was the second wave of partners that came in here.
So, do
Right.
you remember, or do you still have that original email that said
I'm
"Welcome to
sure I
partnership"?
do. I definitely didn't delete it, so I'm sure if
Okay.
I have to search real deep in there, but yeah, I definitely probably have it for sure.
Nice. Do you remember the actual date?
I don't. I feel it was somewhere around September, October-ish.
Okay.
Around there, towards the end of summer, I feel it was around. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, like, probably what, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago?
It had to be 4, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
I
What?
got partnered still in the early access state of the game, so it was definitely
Okay.
still very early on.
Got, oh, so we just celebrated the fourth. So then that would have been 5 years ago. Then, if that's the case,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
it was the fourth anniversary this year. So
Yeah, so
in
it would have been
August. So
5, yeah. Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wow.
It doesn't even feel like it, to be honest.
It does fly by for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Um, so when how long had you been streaming before you became a Vigor partner? Like before that?
Um, I'd say probably relatively 2 years before that. Um, I started with YouTube originally because that's where my inspiration came from other YouTubers. And then that was when streaming was the whole big thing. So that's when I started it, 2 years before that. So
And then you talked about YouTubers being your inspirations. Do you remember uh, anyone in particular who like kind of inspired you
uh
to content create?
yeah, one was KYR Speedy, one was Jev, and there were a handful of others, but they were just kind of daily watchers, whatever. But those two were probably the main inspiration. I
But
was watching them even back in high school, so it
and
was pretty.
what kind of content were they putting out? Was it
They would
like
always the KYR Speedy, he put out a lot of comedy, funny moments, just a
okay,
group of friends just having fun playing games. And then Jev was the solo that he did a lot of commentary. He would
okay,
cut commentary. He would just kind of chill out, just say what was on his mind. And I always thought that was
yeah,
really interesting because it was never planned. It was just kind of right then and
yeah,
there, what he was feeling in that moment.
okay.
And I always just thought that was really interesting side of YouTube gaming. So
And was that like, were they variety streamers or did they just stick to like
uh,
one game type thing? Do you remember?
I'd say variety. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's still in the gaming genre, but yeah, definitely
Yeah.
variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you I guess tell people that you stream, or how do you describe what your stream is like? So
Mm,
I guess in a way you're kind of telling us a bit about yourselves, or you're telling the viewers a bit about yourself. But how do you, like, when you say, "Hey, I'm a streamer," and then people ask some more questions, how do you describe, you know,
I
your stream?
definitely
Yeah.
I definitely describe it as very like just kind of like the place to like get away from the world and just hang out because it's funny. Definitely the one or two games makes me rage, but it's definitely I've been like streamed them on Twitch, but it's just funny because everyone always comes to my chat like, "Hey, look, you're such a calm, cool, like collective guy," and
Hmm.
I feel that's just like the energy I bring. Like everyone's just like we could just come to your stream just to hang out and just like to know that like you're always sitting there talking to chat and we could just like kind of like enjoy our like quiet time, like our like
Yeah,
alone time type deal. So I
Yeah.
definitely
yeah,
feel it's that like definitely like a calm, nice energy just to hang out, chill out in.
yeah. And I know how I found you originally. So like way before like I really like uh became a partner or anything like that.
Mm,
It's like I had my son, and at night it's like I try to like give my wife some breaks type thing. So I'd let her sleep and then I'd bottle feed him or whatever.
mhm,
Or if he needed like a change or something in the middle of the night and he'd have to go back to bed. So I'd actually have him and I'd be rocking him, and I actually have my phone and I'd have you up on stream because there's always a few like bigger streamers I'd be watching at night. Like one was like Half Metal Fox, who like he at the
mhm.
time he was streaming at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it started at 2 a.m. my time, and like finished like 5, 6 or something like that. I forget what exactly the time, but it's like it
Mhm,
was the only time I could catch him. The only issue is like sometimes it got loud,
mhm.
and with the chaos that ensues when he's getting stream sniped all the time. And then it's like I'd be able to catch you like in the like early evenings type thing. Uh, and same thing, like I'd be able to bottle feed, and it's like I could actually have the volume up and just kind of chill out at the same time because it's like
Mhm.
like you said, it's trill. It's like relaxing. It's not like there's gunfire, so it's like sometimes it's like when I knew it was coming, it was like
Oh
I'd turn it
yeah.
down a bit, but
Yeah.
but and I think actually like so I always tell the story that the first battle pass I was ever given was Bobby Sanchez, who like popped into my stream type thing, and he gave me season 3. But the first pass I think I ever actually won was off of you. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah, the season 4, the following season, uh,
Nice.
if I'm not mistaken. So it's like it's like I'd always go in there. It's like just kind of chill out and whatnot. And it was fun.
Yeah, everyone definitely has their own like styles.
Yeah,
That and it's funny too because I don't really know if this is like every other content creator's like thing, but I never like planned to be that like calm collective. And it's definitely not a problem. Like I love it, but it was just so like cool seeing other content creators like how they
yeah,
just naturally became the creators they are.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I feel like everyone like has their own styles, and that's like just the best part. Like going into like a new streamer and just seeing
yep,
that, like seeing what they're all about. I feel
yep,
that's like the cool part to it.
yep, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm,
I guess it's my turn. I guess.
Sure.
Uh, so you've been streaming, I guess, for you said 2 years prior than of becoming a Vigor partner. So I
mm,
guess we're up to like 7 years.
mm.
Um, were you always on Twitch, or did you start off on Mixer? Oh no, wait, you said you were on YouTube, but when you started live streaming, were you always on Twitch?
Live streaming, yeah, I was always on
Yeah.
Twitch.
Okay.
I feel that was just like the place to be.
Yeah. And so you're close. You're like just over 1.1 k followers on Twitch.
Mm,
Uh, on TikTok, you're like at 3.1 k, which in my mind, like is streaming bigger and putting up like little clips of it, like that seems
mm,
like a wild number. Like quite a few followers, so that's like amazing. With
mm,
100 and just over 107k likes, and on YouTube you're getting close to 800 followers. So,
mm,
do you have any plans to expand other than Twitch? Like, because obviously TikTok you're doing really good, and then YouTube, like you're doing the steady climb. And I'm assuming it's because you're doing like the YouTube Shorts, which kind of like translate from TikToks, right? Because you could upload at both
Yeah.
places.
Uh,
So
that's definitely where the most content comes from. Yeah, like shorts and the short form. But no, I don't think I have any plans to expand anywhere else. Only because, uh, as it is, it like for me personally, it just feels like it's a good amount of stuff to like overwhelm myself with.
yeah,
And just on top of that, like YouTube alone, I always do and try and think of like actual video ideas, not like shorts. And just that like editing and like putting all that together. So I definitely feel that's just kind of where I want to stand, like YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok as of right now.
Right,
okay.
Um,
right.
yeah,
And
it
how do you
just works
find
out.
yeah, how do you find it is like trying to find content out of your streams to throw on TikTok and YouTube Shorts? Do you is it like a lengthy process for you, or
Mm,
are you recording in that format already at the same time as you're streaming, or how do you do it?
I I feel it's for me personally, it's definitely always like an in the moment type deal. Like all my clips are always like in the moment. Like I don't plan those whatsoever. Um there's will be occasional times where I have a series called like Elite Teaches, which pretty much always like just teach you like tips and tricks and like go over certain like topics. Those I plan, but that was the content where I was saying before I haven't really done like the long term content. Uh, but yeah, it's definitely like a lot of in the moment type of content that I do. I never really like plan my stuff out. But that's
Okay.
also something I do need to work on, I feel, like I said. So,
Yeah, I know, I get it because it's tough. It's like I
mm,
try to set myself up so that I can try to get those moments, but I'm the worst. I just forget, like I should have took a clip of something, or to go back and try to find it later and then create a clip out of it is just
and
I don't know.
and this is why
yeah.
on my stream deck that I've been playing around with, I have two buttons that I literally like have one that literally places a marker, and then another one will create a clip for me. Not that I'm actually doing
Mm,
much with it at this point, but that is my plan because just like you guys, it's like I don't always have time to like go back and watch everything, but it's
yeah.
like that way. It's like it kind of like if I ever do get the chance, it gives me a chance to like go back because what I'll do, like especially if I create a clip,
Mm,
I'll go back and then it's like it might not be like properly timed type thing, where it's like the start and the end aren't right, but I could go back, watch the actual VOD, and then get a clip of the right thing, and then delete that original one.
yeah.
But so what do you use to do your like TikToks and shorts?
I originally used a program called Filmora, but
Okay.
the problem with that was it was perfect, don't get me wrong, but it was a very like lengthy process for such short form. You have to like cut the video yourself, do the whole format itself, uh, double your video so you have like the cam and the gameplay. It
Yep.
was just a very lengthy process. So I found it's called Streamladder.
Yep.
It's like a
I know
website.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
okay.
It's so
use.
good.
But it's actually funny because I uh I clip too much of videos of like just like in the moment stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm there at the end of my stream, like in my bed watching my clips, and I was like, oh, like I just clipped like 50 things. So and what I do is I'll post like two TikTok slash shorts per day.
Yep.
Previously it was one, but yeah, now that I have like all these clips, it was like, okay, I gotta start like getting the ball rolling. So I had to actually use Twitch's clip stuff. I didn't actually implemented
Yeah.
that not too long ago. Maybe
Yeah.
like
It's pretty new. It's
yeah,
this
maybe
summer that it came out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like during the summer. So I'm using that right now, but yeah, it's pretty much Streamladder.
Yeah, and honestly, like I love Twitch's thing, like because I use the same thing. I've used Streamladder in the past. I like it. Join Combo is another one that does the same thing. It's a website, imports your
Mm,
Twitch clips, and I forget. There's like some other kind of like sketchy ones that kind of copy like join combo, and then I think there's one other one too. Like same thing. I have DaVinci Resolve, which same thing. It's a great free editor, but like you had to format everything, double clip,
Yeah.
and everything like that. Um, but like these tools are great, and now that Twitch has that great tool, which is very basic, but it makes the content or the clip creation like so easy. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
only thing I wish is if you'd be able to like tweak the start and finish. Like let's say like
Mm,
the start of the clip is like
Mm,
2 seconds too early. You could actually like manually change that. Like I would
yeah.
yeah.
love like because it's like sometimes like I love it when someone like a viewer like does a clip, but it's like I don't blame them for just hitting that clip button and save. Like
Mm,
they're not going to like always like edit the start and the finish type thing. So it's like it'd be amazing if you could use that clip and then edit the start and finish type thing. So then that way it's like, they've done a lot of the legwork and now you just have to fine tune it. And then boom, it's like
yeah.
Twitch clip with like YouTube short, TikTok, boom. And the TikTok integration too would be nice because
Yeah.
right now it's like it
I was
only
just about
integrates
to
with
say that,
YouTube.
yeah.
So
Because that's the problem I have. It's funny, it's a whole process at this point that's just like embedded into my mind. Like
yeah.
I pulled a clip, have to, because YouTube Short does the same thing. For some reason, if you previously cut your clip and then you upload it, for some reason it won't upload with audio. So you have to put
Hmm.
it up there as like just like pure raw.
Oh
So I
really?
have to like cut it in YouTube,
Yeah.
put it up, go back to my videos, cut it again in the original, and then that's when I could upload it to TikTok. So it's just like,
Interesting.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of platforms that are still work like Twitch. Yeah, it's literally like brand new, so I don't blame them. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that a lot of stuff has to be like worked on, but
Yeah.
it could be worse. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
sure.
just remember editing back in the day, and I think of it now, and I'm like, we really have it a lot easier now, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
It'd be nice if they eventually even give you the ability to do that through one of your, like, if you in your video producer site. So right now
Mm,
you can only do it with the clips, but if you
mm,
could go back to your previous day's video, find a section that you want to turn into a clip,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then do that same thing. That'd be, maybe eventually they'll get there. It'd be kind of cool if they do.
Mm,
Yeah. So
Like do the
oh
short, hold on. So do the short straight out of the VOD type
yeah,
thing? Is that what you're saying? So instead
yeah.
yeah.
of doing the clip and then going back to the clip, okay, okay. So
Mm,
Yeah.
like skip that middle step. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, or like, because sometimes like I'm the worst. Like I don't always have people who are making clips in my stream, and if I
Mhm.
thought, oh man, it would have been great to have a clip of that, and I totally forgot to do it, or whatever,
yeah.
then I have to go back to my VOD,
Yeah,
find the section. I can make a moment out of it or something, but I
yeah,
can't make a clip, right? So
Mm.
having that ability would be nice.
Yeah, I literally used to be the same way. I just would always forget, and then it's just those moments that you lose, and it's just like frustrating
Yeah,
because you can never find it.
yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, when was that? And I have to like go through my video, try to find it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
yep.
So what drew you to Vigor? So how did you find out about Vigor?
Um, I think it was. I don't know what convention it actually was. It was one of the like E3 or Gamescom. It may have been Gamescom. But yeah, I was just in my room one day watching it like I normally do every single year. And it was just so weird because this popped up like the trailer, and for some reason I instantly like loved it. Like I think it was like the very first time it came out, it really didn't tell you it was like a loot and shoot, but
Hmm.
it was just saying like, hey, this game's gonna come to console, and it showed the trailer. And yeah, it was for some reason like something just like drew it to me. Like I don't know why I'm gonna love this game. And then that's when
Yeah.
like it was like loot and shoot, and I was like, oh, this is like the first loot and shoot on Xbox.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yep, this is the game I'm streaming, because it was previously to that where I was still very new to the streaming game, to where I was streaming like Call of Duty, let's say, where there's like a million other people above me streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so this was the game where I knew I was like, hey, like this is a brand new game. It's something new to Xbox. Uh, this is where I start. Like this is where I really start streaming. And then yeah, I just yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's what kind of drew it to me too. Is when I found out it was a looter shooter on the console, I was
Mm,
like, yeah, I'm in. That's what I was looking for, and
yeah.
it fit that bill. Um, do you think how do you find the game's growth? Like, do you find it's been stagnating? Do you find how do
Mm,
you think it's been making inroads, or what do you think? Like, how do you?
I I definitely see, in my opinion, it still gets new players. It would be something I would have to like actually, I guess, to devs to see if I can see it, but like the actual like numbers, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
But I play maybe 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and I see like new players in my lobbies every time. So I just like, okay, this game's obviously getting new players like still till like 5 years later.
yeah,
So I think it's still gradual. Like it may not be like as big, but it's just a point of like we're still getting new players after 5 years of this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I still think it's going good. A lot of people would disagree, but I still think it's going like really well.
yeah, for sure.
Mm,
Yeah,
And
no,
that's the thing. Like,
I was gonna say I agree too. Like I see new players all the time in my
mm,
things as well. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and honestly, like, um, in the spring, like in May, I forget which gaming website, but they actually had like a list of like games to check out type thing.
Mm,
And like Vigor was one that was still like listed as like one. It was like free games to check out, and it was like Vigor was still in there type thing.
yeah, yeah.
Even though it's like it's been like full release for 4 years now at this point. Um,
Mm,
and it was just like pretty cool because like even like Hunt Showdown made the cut list on that one, which Hunt is almost the same age if not, I'm not mistaken. So
yeah.
it's like it's just like that looter shooter like genre is like there's not a lot of competition,
Mm.
but
And
like the games that are here are pretty solid type thing, right? So
yeah, and I feel like the shooter, like the looter shooter genre, is the big thing now. Uh, in my opinion, it used to be battle royales, yeah, but
mhm,
it's weird because I genuinely feel like people are, for some reason, getting tired of battle royales
yeah,
because it's kind of just like I'll even play with my brother and our friend. It's just like drop in, die, repeat, drop in, die,
yeah,
repeat. But like it's obviously you try and win. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have much risk.
yeah,
It's but like in looter shooters, it's just kind of like you're going like in for like everything, especially Vigor. Like
yeah,
even today, I'm like, I'll pick up like an FG42, but I'll die in the encounter before I could get out with it. And I'm
yeah.
like I still feel such a loss after that, but it's like a good loss, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it makes
yeah,
you want to come back for more.
yeah,
yep,
So
for sure.
it's
It's
that
like,
type
oh,
of genre.
you got the you found a crate and you want to try to get to an exit with it, and so and you're still,
Mm.
but then you get killed, and it's like, no, almost there.
Yeah, yeah. It's just more like I said, like risk type deal. I
yeah.
feel
Hmm.
not many games have that nowadays. So
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you look at battle royales, it's like look at how many have like spawned and it's like they don't always stick around. Like you had hyperspace or whatever it was called that had like a kind of a frenzy when it got released and it's like now you
mm.
barely hear about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You have like the major ones like, Apex, Fortnite and whatnot.
Hmm.
Uh but like, you know, they they're like I don't know. It's like the same formula all the time. Like you said, like live, die, repeat, and it's like, meh, tired of it.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes because I feel like during that era, everyone was just coming out with battle royales. And don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, that's good because you have like variety. But
yep,
I feel like looter shooters now, like everyone is going towards that now. Like I think Call of Duty said they're coming back with their mode in some form. Uh Tom Clancy's to Division. That's actually one I'm looking forward to. They're supposed
yep,
to be coming out with just a game itself on loot and shoot.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah, so I feel like everyone's
Yeah.
kind of like getting the ideas
Yeah.
pumping, and they're like, okay. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. So
Yeah.
like how everyone's gonna start coming out with that type of loot and shoot. So
Well, it's like COD came out with DMZ, and it's like it's
yeah.
mm,
like I've watched it. I haven't played it, but I'm like I watch it. And I'm like this just looks and feels like COD type thing
yeah,
with an
yeah,
extract, and it's like like the loot is not really like for anything aside from like upgrading your weapons as far
mm,
as I know. So it's like
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because you
eh,
don't. Well, at least I haven't played it in a little while because I know they're on. I don't know if they're third or fourth season now. I have no clue. It's sort of been progressing pretty quickly with COD. Um, uh, the only thing that was a bit of a downer for me is that they didn't have like a good solo mode. Is like
mm,
you had to go into like really had to go in teams, like to really get a full good experience out of it. And if you go in solo, it's just it was
yeah.
I found it kind of tough. So
mm.
yeah.
Uh, so was there any particular reason why you wanted to become a Vega partner, or when did you find out of about the program too?
Um, like I said, it was when the game came out. I just knew like this was gonna be like the main game I always stream. Like I think you guys know my format, but
Yeah.
I actually don't even know how I actually did it before Vigor, to be completely honest with you. But it would
Mhm.
be like the main game, like Vigor, and
Yeah.
then I'd stream that for like pretty much the longer period of time. And then maybe like the last like hour or two of my stream, I'll stream like Halo or like Fortnite, whatever the case may be. So I knew that was gonna be my main game, and I knew I wanted to get like as invested into the game as possible. And I knew about partner programs from Halo, and I forgot it wasn't like a very popular game. It was a smaller game, but they had a partner program as well. So I think I honestly just like went to their website and just searched and seen they had it. And
Okay.
I think I wasn't sure just because like I just started streaming the game. But like I was even talking to my brother about it. He actually helped me like the inspiration for it. But he was like, just like go for it, like just sign up for it, like just see
Yeah.
what happened. Worst comes to worst, they just say no and you could just apply again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just went for it. I just signed up for it and then yeah, I think that's when I got like the email, whenever that was. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and especially back then, like some of the partners didn't meet the requirements, right?
Mm,
Like Fox, when we interviewed him, he had said like he had like I forget what it was like 152 followers or something like that, like not
mm,
even close to whatever the numbers was, and like they took a chance on him, and
yeah.
they took a chance on a few other people as well, and it worked out. And same thing with like other people. It's like even though it's like numbers there on the
Mm,
requirements, those aren't like hard set either. Like
yeah, yeah.
they will make exceptions, and then like on the other side, on the flip side too, just because you meet those numbers do not mean that you are getting partnered.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They look
just
for
for
more
our
than that.
listeners, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, it's not just the numbers thing. So
Other types of content you're creating than other than just streaming, that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they still have it to where it's like they categorize you under like I think it's like streamer, YouTube videos, and then I think it's another form of content. I think I'm not sure
Yeah,
if they still have
they've
it.
added TikTok there as well, but like
Okay, yeah, okay.
I don't think TikTok there's no one partnered through TikTok yet, but it's
Mm,
like uh it is like the likes and the followers are like huge, and it's
mm,
I honestly I'm not on TikTok. Like I have an account, but I don't actually do anything on it. So it's like for me to say like, oh yeah, that's easy or not. Like let's face it, like anyone who's going to stream or create content for Vigor, like uh some of those numbers are kind of lofty type thing, because like you look at the old like partnership requirements where it was like 1,000 followers or 1,000 subs on
yeah,
YouTube and Twitch. It's like it's kind of lofty, especially like when you look at the category overall, where it's like I think now these days the peak might be like 150 to close to 200 type thing.
Mm.
And that's like on a good day type thing, and like near the beginning of the season. So it's like, uh, you know, they do make exceptions, like I said, because there are some good content creators out there that, do some good work. And like, even at that, some have never been partnered for one reason or another. But
Yeah, I think it
yeah,
was uh I think I was 100% part of that when the game first came out. I think they were definitely more so looking for people to like promote the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just pretty much just like it was obviously at a time like it's funny now because I even get TikTok comments like, "Oh, like what is this game?" But it was definitely 100% back then where
yeah,
it's just like they needed to push out Vigor like as many places as possible.
yeah,
So I think that was it. But I think it worked in the end because uh, I forgot who was actually part of the second wave with me, but I know some of the original partners, like they're still here, and it's just
yeah,
like, yeah, it was the best thing that could have happened to this game. So
yeah,
it all worked out in the end.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Because they did have like a lot of like of the original partners that uh, there's a lot that just didn't stick around, right? But there
Mm,
are, there's still quite a few though, like especially the ones that have the partner bags, right? Like when you look at the ones that have partner bags,
mm,
uh, out of all the bags that were out, I think maybe I don't know half a dozen or so are still around
mm,
as as far as still creating content or on occasion
yeah.
doing stuff with it, right?
yeah.
So those
Um,
are the like the real diehards who've been around like from the beginning for sure.
yeah, because it's definitely understandable as those partners, and even just like the second or even third wave of partners, like Uh, we've been playing the game for 4 to 5 years, and
Hmm.
that's especially, content creators just in general, not like the average player who just kinda, like, plays for enjoyment, type deal, but content creators in general, that is a lot of time if you really think about it for one
Oh yeah,
game. So,
yep,
it's
Yeah,
definitely understandable, but yeah, like you said, doctor, it's just like when you're devoted to the game and you just love it that much, there's nothing that could really, like, make you, like, stop. Because even people ask me to, like, "How you playing this game so long?" It's just like I just never
yeah,
got, like, tired of it,
yeah,
weirdly. Like,
yeah,
you'll get those little dry spells every season, like, you finish your seasonals, you finish your battle pass, and it's just kinda like,
yeah,
"What do you do now?" But it's it's just definitely, just part of the routine now for me personally that it's just like
yeah,
it's just a natural game I play now, and I don't really get angry over it. I don't get like sad over it. It's just like that game I feel like comfortable with, I guess you could
yeah,
say. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's like when you've been doing a podcast for like almost 3 years and
mm,
bi-weekly, and still come up with ideas for new episodes. And
yeah.
some
It's
some some
time
weeks
back
are
there.
easier than others. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
seven. This is 71, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
71.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's wild. Honestly, good for you
Yeah.
guys.
Um, I know it's Doc's turn to ask a question, but
that's okay.
I you kind of mentioned something about like changing it up or trying to find new things. And I believe it was last year you made kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it a series, but you actually challenged yourself to get threat with every weapon in Vigor, aside from like the melee
Wow.
weapons.
Yeah.
Uh, do you want to talk about that and how awesome it was to do it with the PM? Because I
Uh,
think PM was the hardest one for you,
Oh
if I'm not
wow.
mistaken.
yeah. I actually had to go back to that one after a couple of months, but yeah, I was actually talking to someone recently on stream about it because it was in the same category of like you finish that, you finish this, like what else is there to do? And I'm like, it's nice to always come up with little challenges for yourself just for enjoyment. Um, but yeah, that was definitely just like a very cool journey because I was just like, how do you like implement a game uh into like what you do naturally?
Yeah,
And it was just like, yeah, get threat with literally every single weapon in the game. Uh, but yeah, it was a lot of fun because I kind of knew previously it wasn't going to be easy. Like there were
yeah,
going to be some guns that were easier than others, especially at the time I did it. Like back then, I think it was the SG1 and H bar meta. Like
Okay.
everyone, that's all
Oh, okay.
everyone used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm sure you guys know me by now, but I've always been the type to not really use the meta weapons. I like
Yeah.
to challenge myself, but that was the whole gist of it, to challenge myself and be like, hey, like, let's see if I could actually do this. And yeah, like I said previously with the PM, and I think it was actually the crossbow as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it done because the PM was actually the last weapon that didn't get the one shot headshot treatment.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I literally couldn't get it done, and I even told my chat, like, "I'm sorry, I failed you guys, I couldn't do it." And then, yeah, I think it was like a month or 2 after video uploads, PM and cross threat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a fun time, and I highly encourage anyone to do that, like, even if it's just like a little challenge, just do it. It's just like fun, and once you achieve it, it's like literally the best feeling ever.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like what was it? Last week I actually got a Mosin threat. Like literally every kill was a Mosin, and
mm,
like the Mosin's really good. It's in a good spot
yeah,
right now.
Mm,
it is.
And I was just like, I've never gotten that many kills in one encounter, and it was just like amazing. It was a rush.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's definitely fun to try out. And it's like you said, it's like once you're done like maxing out your shelter, it's like well, you give yourself like these little challenges to like change it up and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
I was doing kind of something similar. Wasn't for a threat because I don't get a lot of threats, but on occasion. But
Mm,
where I was taking like an ammo and then starting with the most, the lowest gun on the ammo for that ammo, like the common, and then working
mm,
my way up. Okay, I can't switch gun to the next gun until I get a kill with this gun. So
mm.
going that way, just yeah, you do these things to
Oh,
just
that's actually
change things
interesting.
up,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
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 So the was it the 5.54 ammo was like one of the easier ones because you start with like the M16 or whatever it is. I'm not sure if
Mm,
it's 5.54, but whatever
Oh,
ammo that one uses. Start with the
yeah,
M16 and work your way up. There's a lot of really good guns, right? But
oh,
even
okay. I see what you're saying. You
yeah.
stick with that one ammo type, but then you increase the rarity of the gun. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
They see
sounds like
that's
something I would do every once in
also
a while.
yeah, that's also the interesting part. Like, uh, just talking to other people about this. Like, I never would have
Yeah,
thought about that challenge
yeah,
ever. So I think that's the cool part about
yeah.
all this.
yeah.
I forget is might be tiny, but it could be someone else too. Where the challenge is, so you go in with a weapon, but then when you kill, you have to swap to whatever that other person had,
Hmm.
type thing.
I
Hmm.
yeah,
So
I think
delete all your
I
ammo, and then it's like that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
interesting.
I feel like I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
you have a lot of fun with it for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, like Macromo, I think had an idea where shootout was kind of like that, where if you got a kill with a weapon, then it would increase in rarity type thing.
Mm,
So
Like a
it's like
version.
you start off with like you know AKM or something like that, and then it's like boom, you get a kill,
mm.
you go up, you get bumped up to like a green common weapon, and then you get a kill with that weapon, and then boom, you get increased to like
Wow.
that
I
higher
could
tier.
actually see that
I'm
being
like
really hard.
that
Yeah.
that would be like fun as a game mode in shootout type
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
uh
Damn, I
yeah,
may have to try that out.
that would be
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, wow.
it'd
It's
be an
like
interesting variant. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, but
Yeah. So like how do you find the state of vigor now, and what do you think the future is going to hold? Like, where do you think that it's going to come? Is going to come for vigor?
Uh, the state of the game is definitely they definitely have stuff to work on, in my opinion. Like in my point of view, the LMGs are still very much a thing. Um, I think the big topic is movement. Uh,
Hmm.
I always tell my chat it's funny because it was originally a very like slow tactical pace, like you had to really like think your
mhm,
movements out, and then that's when it became like the fast paced. And it's funny now because I feel like maybe not everyone, but a good majority is kind of like, all right, we need to go back to the slow paced. And uh I definitely feel because Vigor, that was like the thing that separated it, obviously, because it was just that very like nice, cool, like tactical, like uh slower pace loot and shoot. And I think that's
Yeah.
really what like drove it in, and like everyone's seen it and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I personally don't know the reason, this is my opinion, but I think they originally went to fast paced because if you actually see a lot of games now, it's all very like fast paced. Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty, for instance, with Warzone, it was fast paced. Then the Warzone they have now, they went like the slower route, and
Mm,
it kind of just like dipped, like no one really played it.
mm,
It's just like I feel like gamers nowadays,
Yeah.
it's just like fast, 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 like that
Yep.
type deal. So I think
yeah.
that's what it was. Like they kind of, I could see it. It's like a good idea. Don't get me wrong, but I could see them trying to want to like pull that audience to Vigor. But it's just like there's just some games you need to keep the way it is. Like you need to keep the style type deal.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as the future, it's funny because I do this every season, but I'm like, okay, like they really like hit the bar here. Like I did not expect any of this, like the whole 9 yards. And then it's new season pops up. Oh my god, what is this? And it's just like better and better. So
Yeah.
it's crazy because and that's a good thing. Being a partner and just being a 5 year veteran in general, and just this game could still surprise you is, I think, the best thing ever. So
Yep.
like I said, those like the movement changes, and I think they are coming out with like a weapon overall.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're coming out with
Yeah.
it, but I know it's coming. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that, and then yeah, just like anything else they have that could be new and refreshed is good. They definitely can put a lot more grinding into the game, as in like I know there's been talk of like wanting like a prestige system, let's say. Like
Hmm.
you could prestige your shelter, let's say, and then you get a reward. You start from the beginning. I think that could be like a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it, I feel.
Yeah. The weapon overhaul was planned for like the end of this year, but it sounds like it's gonna be like early next year type thing,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
Q1, from
Yeah.
the last like dev stream.
Hmm.
There were a couple things they were talking about that they were hoping for this year that got pushed back a little bit, like the weapon
Yeah.
overhaul and the shelter improvement that they were
Yep.
talking about.
Yeah,
So yeah, and I can't imagine what it's like to, with a smaller team like that, to maintain the game, improve the
hmm,
game, find bugs. It's there's a lot to do. So
yeah. It's funny too because I was one of these people like a couple years ago. It was just like come on, like release this update or release this game. Like I just
Mhm.
want to play it. But now it's to the point where I'm like, when people push stuff back like that, I'm like, hey, take all the
Yeah.
time you need, like get it perfect. So it's when they pushed it back and stuff like that, I was just like completely fine with it. I'm like,
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
you guys need to do to make this game better, like I'm
Yeah.
all on board for it. Like you do you type deal.
Yeah. You don't want to have something with a bunch of bugs type thing. That's
Yeah,
when it's
yeah.
released type thing. So
Hmm.
Yeah, and we've seen it in the past too, where they make a change and then all of a sudden it breaks something, and it's like, oh great, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to try to figure this out now, right? You get people
yeah,
yep.
shooting up into the sky during shootout or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That takes a longer. It just makes the whole process like just longer in general. So I
Hmm.
think at this point, like no one wants that.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure.
Uh, so aside from Vigor, like I know what you play other than Vigor, but
Mhm.
how about you let our listeners know what else are you playing?
As of right now, Starfield, obviously. I'm
Mhm.
always looking for that single player game to kind of like separate myself from the multiplayer side.
Yeah.
So Starfield, obviously, that obviously amazing game. But I'd say the other main one is there's Apex there every once in a while. That's always been a game that's just kind of been like the go-to. But I think the main big one besides Vigor is definitely Halo. Uh,
Mhm.
I've always had a love for that. I run like a Halo photography page. I've been doing that since like high school.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna.
but yeah, that's definitely been just like the second love, I guess, besides Vigor. And it's just yeah, it's just kind of like that deal that's never really like it's just like I'll always love it no matter what. So it's
Yeah.
definitely yeah, definitely Halo for sure. Besides Vigor.
Yeah. That was definitely
So
the
so
game that kept me on the Xbox the longest was Halo because like there was
Yeah.
since the original Halo, right? Like I played through all like a lot of the early Halos, but then it's like one of those things where you stop playing for a while, right? And then new
Mm.
ones come out and you just I haven't gone to any of the new stuff for Halo, but it was the one that kept me on Xbox for the longest time.
Yeah, I
uh
think it was my it may have been like my first ever shooter.
Yeah.
And first shooter as in like the two analog sticks, I literally wasn't able to move and look around at the same time. I was like that small.
yeah.
I like had to move forward, then use my other thumb to like look up. It was
It takes a
insane.
lot. It did take a
Yeah,
while to
yeah.
get used to.
But
Feel
I
so
yeah, I
old
think
right
that
now.
was Halo 1 was literally my first like ever shooter, so it definitely holds
Um
a special place.
yeah, it's like
Inverted
I'm
X axis or not?
Yeah, I think it
The-
was like that was the thing with the original Xbox, I feel like yeah, what was it like up was down. Like
Yeah.
if you looked yeah, that's what it was. Maybe yeah, maybe that's why I was just like terrible as a little infant. It was
Well,
just
that
like
and for
confusing.
me, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, there was one of the first shooters for me, and
Mm,
bring in the two analog sticks. But because on my computer gaming, um,
mm,
if you ever did anything to do, like, if you ever got used to anything to do with any kind of flight sims, even if you weren't a big flight sim person,
mm,
you just got used to
mm.
pulling down on your mouse or whatever to look up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then as soon as it got into shooters, it's like, okay, I cannot for the life of me do it any other way. I have to have it
Yeah, and
down
it's
as up.
funny, everyone like I feel like immediately was just like, wait, wait, whoa, 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 like this isn't how it's supposed to be. Like up is supposed to be up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
I gotta say though, like uh I was not a Halo fan. I still am not. Like I was Gears of War. Literally, Gears was like what made me switch from PlayStation to Xbox.
Mm,
Was Gears. I could not for the life of me get into Halo. And at one point, me and a bunch of like buddies at the office, they convinced me to purchase like whatever version of Halo that was coming out. We bought it, and it was all about like capture the flag type thing. I
mm.
couldn't get into the campaign, and after like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, everyone just bailed on it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm never spending another like $60 or whatever it was at the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm done with this. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I don't even enjoy the story. I'm
Yeah,
like, I
it's
wasn't even invested in the story because it wasn't even the first one because it was like third or fourth. I don't know.
oh yeah,
I was
Halo
like,
is
what's the
definitely a
point?
game you got playing like in order. But yeah, it's funny you mention that too, because uh I played all the Gears of War. Like that's definitely like one of my favorite series
Yep.
of
It
all
was a great
time.
series.
Yeah,
Yep.
Um It's but I also play like Call of Duty, and it's funny because my brother comes in here like almost every day, and he's like, "You're playing a different game every time I come in this room," and it's just like, "Hey, like you made me grow up with all this," because he was always the one that like, "Hey, like him and his friends are playing like Gears of War, they're playing Call of Duty, they're playing
yeah,
Halo," and obviously being like the little brother, I was just like, "Yeah, I want to do what you're doing," so.
yeah,
I ended up growing up with like literally playing like every like type of genre like that. So,
yeah,
but yeah, Halo is definitely a totally different game compared to anything else with the
Yeah.
whole like shields and like, it's not like Call of Duty, let's say, where it's like you get killed real easy. It's
yeah,
definitely a different type of game.
And one
yeah,
of the bonuses of it too, and this was like a big Xbox thing, I think even when the Xbox first came out, was
Mm,
you could do it cooperatively. Like two people could go through the Halo
mm,
campaign, right? So that's what I had a buddy, and we would always, would get Halo, and we would sit down and go through the campaign, and
yeah,
that was a big bonus. Like, I just thought that the two people could go through the campaign together was just awesome. So
yeah,
yeah.
that was definitely big for me as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for your like Halo screenshot stuff, uh, are you literally just taking screenshots from like in the game, or like how are you doing that?
Yeah, they have a it's called a theater mode, but it's pretty much like a replay type deal.
Okay.
Like if you want to go back to like whatever like game, like if you just played like a multiplayer game of like big team battle and you want to go back to that game and like whatever. But it's relatively like that. And yeah, it's funny too because I don't know, like for Starfield, for instance, I don't know if you guys played it, but they have like a very intense photography mode. You could do
Oh,
like blur, you could like zoom in, you could put like
oh wow.
filter, and it's all in game. But
Oh wow. Nope.
Halo's is definitely more of just like if you want to go back and watch your game or go back and like
Okay.
record it yourself. Uh, so I kind of use that as photography. Like, yeah, I'll
Oh,
go in
okay.
there and just kind of like pause
Yep.
the camera and just do the
Yep.
screenshot on the Xbox. So it's
Oh,
pretty much
nice.
like that. Yeah. They could definitely improve on it if they really want, like the whole
Hmm.
Starfield situation, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty much
Oh,
like that.
gotcha.
Yeah, Starfield's one I'm will eventually try it, but
Mm.
it's so hard. You get you got so much going on, and you get into Baldur's Gate 3, and then all of a sudden Starfield comes out, and it's like I can't too much.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny. Everyone's been saying that, like it's like, oh, I have this game, I have this game, I have this game. But
yeah.
that YouTuber I watch, Jeb, I still watch him till this day. Uh, he was even saying, he was like, well, if you guys think about it, it's technically not a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
now we
No.
actually have choice. I think it was, when was it? Like maybe like 3 years ago, maybe four. For me personally, I was generally sitting here and I would stream Vigor and honestly nothing else at the time. But I would
Yeah.
generally sit here and be like, there's literally nothing to play.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's definitely this era. I'd prefer like where you have too many options rather
Yeah.
Sure.
than like none at all.
Yeah. I know quite a few streamers that they're in the same boat type thing where it's like they're like for the longest time, like even this year, there was like, oh yeah, like I'm playing this for now, but it's like I'm waiting for this, and then they're like,
Mm,
oh my god, September is going to be crazy because it's like you got
yeah.
Starfield, you have Baldur's Gate in August, I think it was.
Mm.
It's like, and then I forget what else is coming up down the pipe, but they're like, oh my god, like, and then one of them, uh, recently, I think it was Pez, he ended up saying like, I can't get into Starfield right now, I don't like it, but he's like, I think he said he was going to revisit uh Starfield once he's done Baldur's Gate because
Mm.
he wants to give it like a good like try type thing before he actually like either decides it's good or not type thing.
Yeah, I think that was the thing with Starfield as well. Like, I feel that was the big talk that it wasn't a game that really like held your hand, and it did that to me personally too. That it doesn't really tell you a lot. Like, it doesn't say like, hey, like go if you need this, like you need to grab this, this, and this. You
Yeah,
generally have to go out there and just find it yourself, and like
exactly.
actually like read stuff in the game. So but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really knew that going into the game.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's funny too because I actually have. I think it was like It's funny. It's a game I do want to revisit, but it was like The Witcher 3,
Mm.
and it was like to fight this monster, you have to use like this very specific item, and then there's me
Mm.
just sitting here like dying like 20 times, but like it doesn't tell you that. So I'm just like, I hate this game, and then like now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back and play it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, that's good.
I always had trouble with, but yeah, for some reason Starfield I always was interested in like space and all that, so that's why I knew I was gonna love Starfield. So I think that's why
Gotcha.
like I was able to like get through it, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Do you have anything coming down the pipe? Like, do you have any plans either for your stream or
Mm,
anything you want to try differently or?
recently, it was on more of the TikTok side. Uh, it's so weird because it's like you have to hit 1,000 followers to do live streams, but for the gaming side to actually stream your game, you have to hit like 3K, I think it was.
Oh,
And
That's interesting.
it was funny because the night I had like 2,000 like 990 followers, I was like, hey Chad, like yeah, we're gonna hit 3K hopefully tonight. We'll be able to do live streams. And for some reason they snapped it to 2K. So I was just like, well, that
Uh,
was anticlimactic.
yeah,
um but yeah, I definitely want to dive more into that. I think I did like 2 TikTok streams so far. They were kind of just really like test runs, like maybe like an hour
yeah,
yeah,
long or so. But that's definitely something I want to dive more into. Uh, because like I said, like TikToks, it's funny because I you get a little bit on YouTube, but TikTok's that side where like seen a lot of people that they have no idea what vigor is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah.
wanted to kind of like put more or as much attention towards that side as possible because obviously like being a partner, you want to do that justice of like bringing more
yeah.
people into the game.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's just like yeah, definitely the TikTok side. But streaming wise, I definitely want to dive more into actually playing with more people, partners and other streamers specifically. Like DJ, I know we played, but like
Yeah.
Doc, even you, I want to play with, and then there's like a handful of partners I want to play with.
Hmm.
Because I think you guys obviously know me. I've always been like the solo, like
Yeah.
side of it.
Yep.
Um, I
Yeah,
used
I'm
to play with
same. Yeah.
viewers a lot, but I got like DDoS one time, and it was just
Wow.
kind of like okay, like I need to back up. Like
Yeah.
you never know what's gonna happen. Like and then uh but yeah, I definitely want to branch out, play with more people, and then like hit the whole TikTok side of things a little bit more, like put more attention towards that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool. I knew that TikTok had like a streaming way. Like I know they had their go lives, but I did
Mm,
know that there was also like a way to stream on TikTok, but I
Yep.
didn't really understand it myself either. So, and I'm not producing on TikTok, so it's not like it's ever going to be an option unless
mm,
you start doing it. You have to actually kind of do it, right?
Yeah.
yeah. It's
It,
And
it.
there's a little bit of the whole Canadian thing too, because if you're Canadian, you can't get paid through TikTok. Not that payment's a big part of it, because I'm not getting paid much through Twitch, so it's not like
Mm,
it's a revenue stream. It's just it's a hobby. But there
yeah.
are these weird little things about TikTok, right? Like
yeah.
certain markets you can't get paid out. Okay. And then other little weird things about how content can get flagged for no reason. That people can just flag you for
Yeah.
something, even if it has nothing to do with it. And then yeah, it's a weird community,
Yeah. That
Yeah.
and set up.
I think that's originally what happened to me. Like this is like way back.
Yeah.
I started doing YouTube videos to start off, and for some reason, like YouTube in general was like hitting a lot of people with stuff for like no apparent reason. I still
Hmm.
don't get why or how it happened, but they fixed it obviously. But they hit one of my videos and was just like, "Hey, like you're playing music in this video," and kid you not, there was no music whatsoever. So I was just on one of those unfortunate souls that just got hit,
Yeah.
and
Hmm, hmm.
I was even a small channel, so it was just kind of like, why me? But
Yeah.
I think that's actually the time or era I actually switched to streaming because it
Mm.
was like, oh, like if I'm getting hit for nothing over on YouTube, like let's actually go to streaming. So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely get where you're coming with from like all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
companies they all run differently, so it's really
Yeah.
hard to keep track of like what you can and cannot do on each platform.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of funny too because uh, when I think it was earlier this year when Twitch said like you can't multi-stream basically to like Facebook or
Mm,
YouTube, but like TikTok you're allowed to. So it was like uh, and Instagram too. I think you were able to live stream. So it wasn't like the actual like full on like streaming platforms you could like stream to, but
mm,
stuff like TikTok, Instagram, and like I've seen a couple people actually do it, but it's like I don't know. Like I don't have Tik. I have like I said, I have a TikTok account. I don't use it.
mm,
Part of the issue is in Canada, like TikTok has been flagged because of like, you know, it's based in China, and like a lot of
Oh
government
yeah.
institutions aren't allowing it on phones and whatnot. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's part of the reason why like I'm kind of like a little iffy on joining, but
Yeah, yeah.
and actually doing stuff on it. But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
actually
interesting.
forgot it got hit with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was even like in the United States, they hit like
Yeah,
two random state. I mean, I'm sure it's not random, but it was just like two states out of all the 50. So I was just like, that's it.
decided
Yeah,
it's like no.
it's very like confusing why
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
happened. Definitely scary too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, yeah, and even with our organization, that kind of same kind of thing, that warnings with TikTok. And so
Mm.
I do watch it because I do find some good creators on there for the type of content I
Hmm.
like. And but
Yeah.
then I found a way to, like, there's apps you can use to jail, like, to sort of um a sandbox an app, right? So I have my TikTok
Mm.
sandboxed on my phone, so it doesn't
Mm.
have access to anything else on my phone.
Oh,
Gotcha.
nice.
Because there was like concerns, privacy concerns with it at one
Yeah.
point. So there's stuff you can do. It is but I do find it is a good thing, a good platform for finding creators for the type of content you're into. Like if you're
Yeah.
Oh
into
yeah.
politics or whatever, you can find a lot of good creators for political stuff, and then maybe
Mm.
find them on other platforms, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And especially when it comes to like promoting new games and stuff, like you said
Mhm.
earlier, it's like how many people in your YouTube shorts or your TikToks people say like, "Hey, what game is this?" Right? Like,
Mm.
it is a good way of like putting out content and maybe getting new players to start playing the game.
Yeah, I would say and this is no exaggeration, I almost get it like daily. At least one person every day, like, hey, like, what is this game? And I tell them and they're like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
maybe I'll try it out. It
So
it is a coolest experience seeing those people come back, like maybe like even a week later, and they're like, hey man, like I've been playing the game and I just love it. So that's
So
definitely a
that
good feeling.
that was a follow-up question I was going to say. Like, how many of those people do you actually see translate into, like, say, a follow on your Twitch channel, or like a
Oh,
sub on like TikTok or YouTube type thing?
definitely a good amount. Um TikTok being TikTok, like the algorithm and all that. I think it was sometime last week or the week before that. It was literally like just a simple clip of me going to an exit on Fisk and jumping in a barrel in the exit.
Oh yeah, I
And I'm
see.
like, oh yeah, I always
Yeah,
just use this for safety. And then I
yeah,
actually got shot at.
yeah,
But it was
yeah,
one of those, and it was just like if for some reason, like I said, TikTok it just blew up for whatever reason. And yeah, n- people would either like tell me like, "Hey, I just followed you over on TikTok or on Twitch," or I get a lot of people like I'll be streaming one night and they're just like, "Hey, like I seen your TikTok," or like, "Hey, like I followed you here and I was
oh
waiting for you to
nice,
go live," and just stuff like. So definitely not like a lot, but definitely a good handful for sure.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
nice.
I
Okay,
even see
good
that
to know.
with our podcast once in a while. Like, we don't have a huge viewers, but
Mm.
once in a while I'll find somebody,
Yeah,
I'll raid them, or like somebody who's streaming or whatever, that goes, "Oh hey, I watch your guys' podcast," and
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
great to hear.
what?
Yeah, once in a
I've
while,
never had that
I've had that
happen,
happen
but
a couple
I've
times.
had the occasion.
Yeah.
Nice. I've had a couple people like pop in and
That too.
mention it, but never raid into someone. Oh my god, that'd be like exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely a good feeling because you get that like
Yeah,
sense of like achievement and like I don't know to where like they notice you type deal.
yeah,
it's not for nothing.
yeah,
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 yeah. And
yeah,
it's just
Yeah.
like it just goes back to that whole point of view, like creating content for this game and like sharing that love
yeah,
wherever.
yeah,
And it kind of like hits you back, like, oh, okay, like you notice my content, like it's getting out there, like type deal. Like just that type of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Yeah. I think that's a great place to stop. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
Yeah. For everyone out there, again, this has been Elite Reclaims, and in a couple of weeks we'll be back with some new content. Um, Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a comment, all that great stuff. But until next time, I'm Dr. Anton,
I'm DJ Spencer.
and we
Libra
were
claims.
these were Libra claims. Perfect. And
And
yeah,
we're gonna put some links to his socials too in the description.
yeah,
So
we'll have
keep an
all
eye
the
out
links
on that.
in down
Yeah.
below,
Appreciate it.
and in the descriptions of the episode. So check them out.
Yeah.
But stay safe in the Outlands and have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
I've heard you say you lost your way again. You don't see your reflection. Just look around and find it. There's something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want. So just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. It's time to leave the place where you are forced to fade away. You barely breathe, heart is breaking in the chest. I'll make you feel that it's not real. Your thoughts because of which you barely live. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want. So just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your